So let's get started. Now you can see here I have my fabric. This fabric is folded into 4. So I have 4 pieces, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, this one is joined. Can you see? It's joined. So, and this base here, 2 joined, 2, 3 and 4. So right now we are going to start. So the first thing I'm going to do right here is to measure the width of what I have here. I have the width of this fabric. I have 1/4 of the width to be 15 inches, as you can see. Now I have the length to be like 29 inches. So you see, approximately 29 inches. So right now, from the edge here, I'm going to mark 17 inches downward. So I have it here. 17 inches. So I'm going to extend it to this place. I will also mark the same 17 inches. I have it here. So I come here, I mark 17 inches so that I can achieve a straight line. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to connect these lines together. So I connect together. Can you see? Now I hope you can see it clearly here. So having connected the lines together, the next thing is to go up here. So I'm going to mark half of my shoulder line. My shoulder is 15 inches. 15 inches divided by 2, I will be having 7.5. So I have it here, 7.5. Okay, so the rest here is for my sleeve, and that is why it's joined together. That is why I'm having the total of 15 inches right here. So right now I'm going to go straight to mark the neckline. So I will be using 3.5 by 3 inches. For the width, I will be using 3.5. That is the neck width. Now for the depth, I will be using, for the front panel, the depth I will be using 3 inches. So I have it here. Now for the back, I will be using 2 inches or 1.5. Let me use 1.5 for the back depth, the back neckline depth. So the next thing I'm going to do is to connect this line to the width. So I'm going to create a curve, a slight curve, to connect the lines together. Now for the front, we go ahead and create the curve. Okay, so I'm creating the curve right here. Can you see? This is for the back, while this is for the front neckline depth. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to go back to this shoulder. So I'm going to mark the shoulder slope. So I will be using 1.1 inches or 1.25 inches for the shoulder slope. Okay, so from here I'm going to connect straight to the neckline width. So I connect straight to the neckline width. Can you see? So having connected, the next thing I'm going to do right now is to slant my measuring tape. You can see the way I slant it. So I slant it like this. So I'm going to mark 8 inches. I'm marking 8 inches from this point to this point is 8 inches. Here is it, 8 inches. So you can see that from this side, it means I came in by like 4 inches inward. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to go to the waist. This is my waistline. So what I'm going to do is that the bust for this, I'm going to divide, look for the 1/4 of the bust, then plus like 1.5 inches. So for the bust is 36 inches. 36 divided by 4 gives me 9. So I'm going to add extra 1.5 inches to it. So I will be having the total of 10.5. So I'm going to go ahead right now and mark 10.5. Okay, so I have it here. So this 10.5, I'm going to include it downwards. I mark 10.5 at the base also. So I have it right here. So the next thing is just to connect this line. Let me draw it clear so that you can see it. So here is the base. What I mark here is what I transfer to the base here. 10.5, 10.5. So I'm going to connect this line to meet this so that I can achieve that straight line. So I'm going to connect straight to the waistline. Okay, then I'm going to extend it upwards to the bust. So what I'm going to do here is to come in by 3 inches. So I'm going to come in by 3 inches. That is from the shoulder slope. I'm going to come in by 3 inches. You can see where I place it at the tip, not here, at the tip here. That's where I've placed it. So sorry for that. So just to connect to the tip. So this is the main line, this one, this new one. So what I'm going to do right now is just to connect this like this and create a curve, a slight curve. Can you see? Here is the curve. So the next thing right now is just to cut it off, tracing it. So I'm going to cut the back first, the back leg. Okay. So I have it like this. Then I'll go ahead and cut like this. So I'm going to and you see. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to remove what I have here. So I'm going to take the inner one out, which is this inner one is the back piece. I'm going to take it out. So having removed the inner one, so I will now go ahead and reshape the neck of the front neckline. Here is it. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to place the front piece and the back piece right side to right side. So I'm going to place it together, and I will start from sewing the shoulder. So I'm going to place it right side to right side like I'm doing right now. So I haven't placed it. The next thing I'm going to do is to sew the shoulder sleeve line. So I'm going to sew it. So now, as you can see, I've sewn the shoulder line. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to work on the neckline. So here is my bias tape. So I'm going to use this bias tape to tape it round. I'm going to sew it first. After that, then I turn it so that it will be okay. So as you can see right here, I've taped it round the neckline. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to notch it round like I'm doing right now. So I'm going to go ahead to notch it all round. So as you can see right here, I've finished notching it round. So the next thing I'm going to do, because this one is too long, so I'm going to shorten it. I'm going to cut little out of this, and I'll continue. I'm going to round it like that. So I'm going to cut it, shorten it. So I proceed till I round it, till I finish cutting all round. So I don't want it too long. So this size is okay by me, so that by the time I turn it, it will relax very well. So I'm going to proceed by shortening the excess which I have right here. So can you see I've finished cutting it, shortening it. So the next thing right now is to turn it like this. So I'm going to turn it like this, then I seal the down round. So as you can see right here, I've sealed the side and I've also sealed this down part. Can you see? I folded it just once. It's once I folded it and I seal it. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to measure from the upper part here. I'm going to measure 17 inches. So from the up here, I measure 17 inches. I come here, I measure 17 inches. Here, 17. So I'm going to connect this line straight like this. So it's in two ways. It's either I start the measurement from the shoulder line, or I start it from the down part. So if I'm to start from the down part, I'm going to measure like 11 inches depending on the length of what I measure. So I'll be measuring like 10 inches. So if I measure, it will be here. So it's the same. So that's what I will be doing right now. After measuring, so I'm going to connect this line like this. So have you seen the line? So I will advise you to measure starting from the base to the waistline. So the next thing I'm going to do is to fold it like this. So I'm going to fold it to meet the line. So right now I'm going to use my pin to hold it down. So I will be attaching the base to the line which I've measured. So I'm going to pin it down. I pin it down. So I turn it to the other side too. I do likewise. So I will have measured the 17 inches round too. So both this side and this side, the line. So it is on the line that I'm going to place the down part and pin it together. Pin it down. So I pin it down like I'm doing right now. I'm going to use the pin later to pin it down. So after that, then I will start the stitching. So I'm going to run a stitch from the down part first. So I will leave a space. So after running it round to the back side, then I will now continue. I will use like 5 inches space. So I will now stitch the second side here round. So in between the line, in between the stitch is where I'm going to attach my elastic. So as you can see right now, I'm done with the neckline. I've stitched it. Here is it. Can you see how neat it is? So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to sew the seam side. So from here I'm going to sew downwards. So I'm going to sew like this down. Also to the other side here, I sew from here downward. So after sewing these two sides, then I can now sew the down part. So I'm going to fold it into two, one, two, very tiny. So I'm going to fold it just once. You can fold it into two, you can fold it into one, just once. So if you want to fold it into two, it's all right. And if you want to leave it like this just once, it means you have to weave the down part first. So that's the next thing I'm going to do right now. So as you can see right here, I've used my pin. I've used my pin to pin it down round, even to the back. Can you see? Can you see? So the next thing I'm going to do right now, I'm going to start from here. So I will go to the machine right now. So I'm going to stitch from the base here and stitch round. So by the time I get here, I'm going to stop. So I'm going to leave this space here. I'm going to leave like 1 inch space here. So this is where I'm going to pass my elastic. After I've got to this point, I will also go ahead here, the upper part here. I will measure like 5 inches, 0.5 inches to leave the space for the elastics. So I will run another stitch through up to this point. After getting to this point now I can now pass my elastic through the midpoint here and run it. Now as you can see, I've run that stitch, the one at the middle, then the one down part. So here is the space I left. Can you see? This is the space, and it is through this space that I'm going to pass my elastic, like I said earlier on. Okay, so right now I'm going to cut the length of my elastic. The length of your elastic is going to be the length of your waist circumference. In this case, I have 28 inches here. So I'm going to measure so that you can see. You can see I have 28 inches here. So that's the length of my elastic. So after inserting it round, the next thing, or before inserting it, I'm going to go to the mouse sleeve. I'm going to stitch the mouse sleeve. So I'm going to fold it into two. One, I bend it, one, then two. So I sew it round. I will also go to the second mouse sleeve. I will do likewise. I fold it into two, one, two, then I run the stitch round. After that, I can now pass my elastic, then everything is ready. So far so good. I've come to the conclusion of this tutorial. Here's the outcome of this tutorial. Can you see how lovely this top is, or this blouse is? I believe you have found this tutorial very helpful. If you have, kindly give it a big thumbs up. And if you are yet to subscribe this channel, kindly do that now. You click on the subscribe button and you hit on the notification bell. So till I come your way again, bye for now.